My name is Emma Mallon, and for my cultural experience project, I chose to talk about the Ainu people. The Ainu people are an indigenous group located primarily in northern Japan, in Hokkaido, and the Kuril Islands, as shown on this map. They have faced centuries of discrimination and cultural oppression, but the Ainu people have continued to preserve their identity and traditions for over 800 years. Here's an image of the early Ainu people. Their culture centered primarily around hunting, fishing, and spiritual ceremonies. During Japanese expansion from the 16 to the 1800s, a lot of Ainu land and resources were being taken over. According to a BBC article by Ellie Cobb, in 1899, the Hokkaido Former Aborigines Protection Act was passed, and despite its name, it actually forced the assimilation of many Ainu people. And from then into the 1900s, a lot of Ainu continued to hide their identity to avoid this discrimination. In 2008, Japan officially recognized the Ainu people as an indigenous group, but they still do face a lot of discrimination issues as well as lack of land rights. One of the most interesting things that I looked into was just their culture overall. They're very spiritual, and according to an article on Hokkaido's history and culture that had no author, a lot of Ainu culture was based on animistic values. They believed that spirits, also called kumoi, were very present in nature, and that nature was very sacred to them and considered spiritually alive. Some examples of ceremonies, a really big one was a Yomante, which is also known as a bear ceremony. Basically, they would take these baby bear cubs, raise them up to about 2 years of age, and then have a sacrificial ceremony to return their soul or spirit back to the gods. Another example of important ceremonies that they held were those to honor the fire goddess. They believed that she helped protect the household and helped carry our prayers from this realm into the spiritual realm. Communal values were very important to the Ainu people as well. They believed that shared cooperation and shared labor were key for their survival. Another part of their culture is their traditional food. According to an article on traditional Ainu cuisine by Toy Fang, the process of gathering resources and making the food was very meaningful to the Ainu people. Hunting and fishing were used to work in harmony with nature instead of working against it. And the Ainu also prioritized minimal waste when preparing foods and consuming them as well. One example of traditional Ainu cuisine would be shito dumplings. They were made from grains ground down, made into a flour, and then boiled. And at the time, they were considered a delicacy because of the time and effort that was put into making them. Another example would be ohau, which was a soup that had a broth base, could have vegetables in it that they had foraged. It could have meats in there that they had hunted, as well as the shito dumplings could be included as well. Today, many Ainu communities work to preserve their language, their tradition, their ceremonies, despite the deep historical discrimination that they faced. According to an article from the Georgetown Journal of International Affairs by Jeffrey Gaiman, Japan still works to promote Ainu culture through tourism, which does help keep them modernly relevant, but there is an added issue of cultural exploitation. However, all the issues that they face regarding land rights, political autonomy, lack of education, economic injustice, they continue to work through those to preserve their culture. The history of the Ainu people shows the impact of cultural suppression, but it also shows the resilience of indigenous groups, especially those that we see around globally. I think it shows a really good impact of that. Even after generations of discrimination, a lot of Ainu still continue to work to preserve their culture, traditions, and beliefs to help them survive and flourish today.